coming off. Winners of this plays the winner of that. And if Nigeria are the winner of this, they might well be, because it's opened up suddenly in front of goal and it's in the net. Ekor Adams, the Gabon defence totally fell asleep, and Adams pounces to maybe send on the 5th of December. Nigeria alone would not be in that draw if they're still in the hunt. But it might open up here for Mario Lemina to take the shot, and it's in! It's deflected in! And Gabon may have sent this game to extra time. Lemina's been a threat. Whether you want to or not, you will be thinking that you're almost there, but here comes the UK getting through. Osimhen's in! So close! Again, here's Mario Lemina, short for Aubameyang, lost out. Now the chance for the counter-attack, and Osimhen's on the way! It's one-on-one! Victor Osimhen for glory, for victory! He hasn't done it! Played back in by Alex Iwobi. Now the chance for a break being ball forward. It's a lovely ball. Indeed, pushing it into the box. It's 2-1. It's UK. Time. That has to give Nigeria a lift. Maybe this will too. It's a good break. Osimhen! Oh, what a goal! His time has come. Victor Osimhen makes it 3-1. in extra time. And Nigeria, without playing a second, and Osimhen for a celebration booked as well. And there may be more to come. Osimhen's waiting in the middle. It's going to be pushed through well. What a chance for Moses Simon! That surely would have wrapped it up. Robbie as well, being an attacking midfielder, being one of those to go. Here's the ultimate attacker right now in front of goal. Osimhen on the way! And Nigeria very firmly are now! Victor Osimhen clinches it! No way back for Gabon now! Democratic Republic of Congo, 69th.
Well, you know, as they say, that there is a particular proverb around here that if you ride horse in my stomach, that's a literal interpretation, by the way, there won't be any stumbling. I'm happy, and I'm sure many Nigerians are happy for that victory. What is a very resounding one, but you know, there were nail-biting moments in that particular match. The Super Eagles of Nigeria 4, the Panthers of Gabon 1, and that was how he ended, you know, in this playoff series towards the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So many things happened before that particular match, you know, pre-match, during the match, and then what's next. We are being joined by the chief football writer for ECS Sport and a national football journalist as well, Fisayo Dairo. He joins us virtually. You must be happy this morning, Dairo. Good morning.
I'm happy, like it should be. A lot of Nigerians are happy as well, so we share in the happiness. But like I jokingly said before we came on it, it's just one part out of a threefold happiness that will make the happiness to be complete. So, but for now, we embrace what happened last night, and we look ahead to greater things as well.
Greater things as well, you know, and the first half ended, you know, in a draw, barren draw, and then second half towards the end, the Nigerian team scored, and then I think Akko or so, and then we thought we were good to go. All of a sudden, that equalizer came, and I was saying something maybe before you came up. The lounge where I was watching the match, the DJ was blasting after the first goal, and just after the equalizer, he changed the music. You know, and well, it was somehow. Tell me your experience, especially that 1-0 to that 1-1 moment.
Yeah, I think the team switched off because, you know, the Gabonese barely threatened all night. The only times they had opportunities were when the team switched off. So, especially when the substitution came with Akko Adams that scored the goal, exiting the game for Frank Onyeka. It marked a change from a 4-4-2 diamond to a flat 4-4-2 to a 4-3-3, which means you have more numbers in the midfield. We have put them where they want to be, but you could see the goal. just a punt from a centre back. Our right back did not do well. He wasn't strong enough in his aerial duel. And Chidera Ijuke, who should be tracking his marker, left Mario Lemina, and then they scored. So, but, you know, I had no problems with it. I knew that the game wouldn't go to extra time. Because if not for some seeming profligacy, we should be home and dry in the first half. In fact, someone asked me before, you know, at the end of the 90 minutes, I said, no, don't worry, this game will not get into penalties. Because we were so superior to them. And going into extra 30 minutes, they had labored. So the physical exertions was going to count against them. And for me, even after they equalized, you could see that, okay, for instance, after they equalized, 12 minutes were added in the second half, and we had 2 good chances to score, including the Osimhen chance. So if that could happen in 12 minutes, I knew there was no way we wouldn't win the game in extra time.
Yeah.
All right, now having scored our first goal in the 70th minute, right? Going into the games, you saw all of the issues, you know, that were on ground for the Super Eagles, you know, ditching training because of what was on ground and all of that. Did you think that somehow it was luck, or was it really the preparedness of the Super Eagles?
Well, you know, ideally, games like this, especially played on a Thursday, your preparations cannot be perfect. You know, and this is the main reason someone like me was critical of that strike action on Tuesday. Because being a Thursday game, you only have 2 full training sessions to make, and you are skipping 1. It is not an ideal preparation. But the thing that eventually worked for us is that we are naturally superior to the Gabonese. We are not on the same level. If we had played against a team on the same level with us, not even better than us, on the same level with us, we would have been in problems yesterday. Because after the first half, because the formation that our coach employs, the 4-4-2 diamond, it is physically demanding on the players as well. So after the first half, the players tailed off a bit. So the first 20, 25 minutes of the second half, that was why even our goal was a gift. We were off the game, although they did not do much in terms of creating chances. But at that point, they were ahead of us. They had the ascendancy. But then, the physicality, the fact that we were able to replace players, bring in some fresh legs, we actually wore them down late in the second half, and that was eventually what happened. So it's not particularly luck. It's just that we played a team that we were superior to. If not, we would have regretted that strike action on Tuesday.
So, scoring in the 97th minute by AJK, how did you think it switched up the whole game? Did it boost? Did you think that was the booster in the morale of the guys?
Yeah, you know, like I noted tacitly, going into the extra time, okay, I said this somewhere last night, their best player presently is Mario Lemina. He plays in the same club with Victor Osimhen. He was the one that scored the equalizing goal. And Lemina is an energetic player. In fact, he represented our biggest worry among some of we analysts before the game. So 5 minutes into extra time, I saw Lemina holding his waist and looking jaded. Because at that point, I knew they were in trouble. Because the physicality had also gotten to them. So the moment we scored that AJK goal, that's how it happens in football. It will definitely deflate them. And considering that we still have 3 more substitutions left to make, we were now on the ascendancy. If they had scored against us when they had the ascendancy, for instance, that penalty call that the referee did not give them, if perhaps they had scored, it would be a problem for us to come back into the game. But they did not score when they were in the ascendancy. We scored when they were tired and when we were back in control of the game. So the only way the only route left was for them to be destroyed.
Right. Now, let's take it back a bit where Temitope started. In fact, the question I would have wanted to ask you is, what was that about? Because I told Tope here, was it 2 days ago or yesterday, that with that particular drama, they should know by now, especially experienced players like Ekong, like Iwobi, or like some of those guys. I think Ahmed Musa is no more there now. Possibly, he should be the kind of person that should tell them, Nigerian fans, you don't want to get into their... In fact, for the next 1 week, if that match has gone south yesterday, you won't be able to open your social media. You'll be in big problem. Yeah. And the question is, what was he about? For a player of Trust Ekong's status, in fact, the question, what was that about? Was it because there are many narratives? Some said those... the money that they are being owed dated back as far back as 2019. Some said, okay, they are trying to get an increase in the match day winning bonus or whatever. Fisa, what was that about, actually?
Well, it has a touch of everything, you know. And to be said, of course, they've come to the media to spill a lot of narratives. But now I'm going to tell you a lot of things that maybe you may not hear somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah, they were being owed match bonuses and all these narratives of 2019. Only 8 players remain in the team from 2019. You know, and maybe 1 game from 2019. They are owed a couple of games from this syllabus. The thing about the Super Eagles, the thing about the team is that they will be paid, especially, of course, when they agitate like this. That's why during that process, I was saying the best time to ask for your money is done into major competitions. AFCON is next month. If players are to be released by their clubs 2 weeks before AFCON. So you can have, and like I told someone, AFCON, World Cup, they are very stressful competitions for players. You play every 4 or 5 days, you train, it is very physically demanding. That's why their predecessors in the national team, they choose major competitions to strike. Why? Because they even need rest normally. So if they tell you that we are boycotting training today because we are being owed, they actually wanted to rest in the first place. You get that? So now, but one major thing that led to that strike was that they were asking for a special bonus. Fine. It was in a bit to motivate them before the Benin Republic game. The National Sports Commission promised them that we will give you a special bonus, even if you can make through the playoff.
Right.
So, but it was verbal, it was not concrete. And now, when the players now asked, how much are you offering us? And they told them a figure. I'm quoting what Krustekong told one of my friends. I saw the chat myself. He said, they told us, okay, let me quote him. They told us a certain figure, and we said, no, we want another figure. So they actually discussed a special bonus. The same Ekong went to the social media and said, no, there was nothing like special bonus. They actually discussed special bonus. And I believe that was the reason they didn't train. If the NFL had said, okay, this $15,000 that you guys want, okay, we will give you. They wouldn't go into on a strike action. So it is not particular because the areas they are being owed, have they been paid? No. They knew they were not going to be paid before yesterday's game. So why go on strike? So that's just a summary of it.
So they only seized that moment and, to ask for whatever they wanted. But if actually that game went south yesterday, what could have happened? It could have done me wrong, isn't it?
Spectacularly. And I'm afraid a number of them, because I had some particular names who were the biggest champion of that. And, it will surprise you that maybe if Victor Osimhen had arrived on Monday, that strike action would never happen. Because he was not in support of it. But they've made a collective decision before he arrived on Tuesday afternoon, hoping to meet Tuesday training, and then he had the consensus. So, but there are some certain players, I won't be shocked, could have been their last time playing for the team. And, you know, Nigeria have an abundance of sporting talents.
Right.
Whether it's not right to victimize them or not, that's a story for another day. But like you said earlier, if things had gone south yesterday, Nigerians will even forget the fact that why were they being owed in the first place, but question their rationale in choosing that particular date for their strike action.
Yeah.
All right, now, having now survived this scare, having won in this first leg, do you think they can sustain it? Especially, like you said, this is a how would I put it? The Gabonese team is a lesser team to the Super Eagles, at least in terms of the technicalities and all of those.
Strength, yeah.
But now, if they were to meet a team on the same plane or a team that is performing better, what would you say, you know, are your expectations for the second leg? What would you say the Super Eagles, you know, will have to deal with, you know, or to solve things that will have to take care of, you know, to be better, you know, if they were to get a better challenge in the other leg?
Okay. Maybe I don't 100% understand, but let me just try.
Okay, I'm saying, let me make you understand. I said, they met with the Gabonese team now on the second leg, and you saw how it went. Thank God for the extra time and all of those. If they were to get a better team, a team that is willing to challenge them, you know, to do, how do you think they will perform? And what are those things you would say they should, you know, take care of before the next leg, before the next match?
Okay, now, let me put it this way. Number one, we are lucky. Maybe the players also calculated it well, that especially with Osimhen around.
Okay.
I've been harping on something for months now. And I still said it boldly after the game last month against Benin, that even before the game, I said, the number of teams in Africa that can beat Nigeria when Victor Osimhen is on the pitch, that's 2025 Victor Osimhen is on the pitch, there are no more than 4. And none of them have qualified automatically. They are not more than Morocco, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, and perhaps Egypt. And it will still be a fight before they can beat us. So, we know the Gabonese, we especially to see on the pitch, is our X factor, and they really can't handle Nigeria. Now, to forestall these things, it's simple. The federal government is actually the biggest problem. Why? Because in years past, in the 90s, in the early 2000s, even in the 2010s, whenever Super Eagles have qualification games, the NFF make budgets for their match bonuses, either a win or a draw, and they take the money in cash to the stadium and to the city they are playing. After the game, maybe during dinner, maybe in the following morning, they pay the match bonuses. So, but we started having the issue of backlogs when Ahmad Pinnick became the president, and then we had all this TSA stuff from 2015 here and there, and then you have to apply for funds, and then it will not come after months, and so it gives chances for manipulation. It gives chances for corruption. So to forestall things like this happening in the future, our subsequent games, even from the AFCON, let's the funds be released and pay them their match bonuses. I have someone, one of the players I'm close with, he played for the team against South Africa, against Benin last year, June. You know, I will shock you. It was 2 days ago that I was asking him that when they paid bonus for the draw against South Africa in New York, and he said, no, are we supposed to get a match bonus? Because at club level, players are not paid bonuses for home draw. But away draw, they get bonuses for home wins.
Right.
So a lot of them think that's the same thing for national team. But me, I know that national team, there is no home, there is no away. You are simply paid for a draw and for a win. So when an NFF official spoke with me on Tuesday night and was like, they were owing for the draw against Zimbabwe, and so I said, no, you have not paid the South African draw as well.
All right.
So So, but, you know, that's justice. I think I've tried to do justice to that. Pay them immediately after games, and we will not have backlogs.
So you're talking about the administrative part, that it should be handled so that the players will be, you know, motivated to go to the other match. 2 questions for you. Let's talk about this guy, Victor Osimhen. Actually, in fact, I'm almost giving him another name, Victor Olusegun Osimhen. You know, I know he might not be of Yoruba origin, but I think my Yoruba and his Yoruba is almost on the same level. He's one jolly good fellow.
Yes,
he's Guru, to be precise. He's a street guy. But then, you know, I watched that match, and this guy was wasting chances. I was like, oh, maybe today is not Osimhen go. You remember that game before the 90th? I mean, just before the full-time whistle. 1-on-1 Osimhen. And then he wasted that particular... The thing wasn't even close to the pole at all. And you could see that, in fact, people were like, what's wrong? On a day like this, and then the second goal came, and no. And then he got the 3rd goal, he got the 4th goal, and he got a brace. It's smoking red hot. How would you describe Osimhen before, especially in the full 90 minutes, where he was wasting that chances? What do you think happened? Was it nerve?
You know, what separates Osimhen from these players is his mentality. He has an unimaginable elite mentality that is rare for Nigerian players. No questioning his talent from under 17 level. Till today, he's the player with the highest number of goals ever at the under 17 World Cup, with 10 goals. Now, what has made him who he is his mentality. His mental strength is out of this world. I referred, you know, in a conversation last night to the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire last year. In our first game against Equatorial Guinea, it ended in a draw. He missed a couple of gilded chances like yesterday. But from there on, he decided to pick up the mantle of creation for his teammates, and he was just our leader all through till the final when we played a team that was better than us in all respects. So for Osimhen, his mentality, look at Ademola Lookman now. He faced the same thing, exactly the same thing that Osimhen faced last year at Napoli. Lookman faced it at Atalanta. Until now, he has not recovered from it. He has only scored 1 goal this season. He had a game to forget yesterday, Ademola Lookman. But when Osimhen was having these issues last year, he was coming to the Super Eagles, scoring the goals, leading the team to victory. So his mentality is just what separated him. After missing those chances, he carried on. And look at his second goal precisely. That was a trademark of Osimhen.
Phenomenal.
You know, with his chest, with his thigh, with everything, and he finished. That's just it. It's mentality that speaks volume for him.
And you know, you talked about that second goal. I remember I've seen him score a couple of those. While in Napoli, he scored something like that. And just a few days ago, I think it was in the Champions League, so he scored some very beautiful goals.
Very last Champions League match, last midweek.
And the guy is like just blasting. And some of those guys were missing in action yesterday. You talk about the Ademola Lookman. I mean, they were there. You talk about Iwobi. Or was it from this end that we saw that maybe they didn't do too well? Maybe for analysts and journalists like yourself. Because you're talking about mentality here. And some will say some of these Oyinbo boys, Oyinbo brought-in boys, that is a way they play their match on a good, if everything is right, they blaze. But at a very difficult match, sometimes they don't really keep up. But you see the ones we call Ibiles, the Osimhens, the Akos, and all of these guys, they do well. Is that really a point? Or yesterday wasn't just their day?
You know, it's a point, really. You know, but sometimes, again, you may not be able to give what you don't have. I think we really overrate a lot of these lads because they play in England. I always fight people about that. Football is not only played in England.
What do you mean, Fisayo? Ademola Lookman is the current CAF best. How dare you disrespect our CAF best?
You know, and you know, African football is played in a certain way. You have to be mentally 100%. Look at Wilfred Ndidi, for instance. He didn't have the best of first half. He didn't have the best of the start of second half. He was yellow carded as early as the 7th minute for a defensive midfielder. But look at his performance in his last 15 minutes of the regulation time and in the last 30 minutes of the extra time. That is character. Alex Iwobi had a good start to the game. He fizzled out. Ademola Lookman was one of our worst players on the pitch, and it's not the first time during the qualifying series. So sometimes that mentality speaks volume. That your mental strength. A player is simply as good as his mental strength. Look at players like Cristiano Ronaldo. Look at Lionel Messi. These guys have unbelievable mental strength.
Right.
And look at DJ Drogba during his days. He may not turn up in average games, but when it's the big game, you see him there. And that's just a difference between some of these boys that just came and got national team tickets on a platter of gold. Look at Benjamin Frederick. He has made his debut this year. He has turned himself to be the best defender in the team. Look at Akko Adams, also made his debut just last month, and he is sacrificing himself for Osimhen, going wide, dropping deep, and then God is blessing him with goals as well. So it's just most times your mental strength and ability to face what the African game brings to you.
All right, so now if Nigeria qualifies via the Interconfederation playoffs, this extra time performance, do you think it will be enough to compete on the world stage?
I think it will be
enough to compete on the world stage.
Well, like people will always say, when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it, right? We still have 2 more finals to play. The CAF playoff final on Sunday, which is going to be more demanding than yesterday's game. Because I was telling some friends before the game that I preferred Cameroon to DR Congo. The Congolese are more physical. And historically, Super Eagles always struggle against more physical sides. In their defense, they have likes of Chancellor Mbemba, Axel Transebe, Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
But do you not think almost all teams would be struggling against more physical teams, especially all those northern teams?
Yeah, exactly. But it's African football. So this is our game. It's part of what we're talking about when Iwobi and Lookman are fizzling out, because they always struggle to come to terms with the physical demands of the African game. So Congo DR will test us. I think we will outlast them in the end, because I had a theory since last month. I said, when life offered us that second chance of going through this playoff, if Femi can remember vividly, I was on this show in March after the game against Zimbabwe. He asked me a question do I believe in miracles? I told him I cannot waste my miracles on these ones, right?
I remember.
That I don't believe they're progressing. But when I saw the way things panned out from September to October, I felt perhaps it is written in the stars that we will qualify.
What God cannot do does not exist.
The analogy of the rapture came to me. For the Christians, those that fail to meet the rapture, they will have to pay with their own lives through the great tribulation. So this is the
philosophical and the spiritual, prophetic Fisayo here. I get you.
Now, so this is their great tribulation.
Yeah.
Their mates are playing friendly games before the AFCON, but they are still entering the bush of 120 minutes to get to African playoff finals. If they play on Sunday, they will be tested physically on Sunday. We should win. I expect us to win, but I won't be surprised if 1 or 2 of them will get injured, and maybe if 1 or 2 of them also gets yellow carded and miss the Intercontinental playoff next match. So this is their great tribulations.
All right.
They will outlast it, but they will suffer for it.
All right. Interesting take there. Almost everybody in the studio, they are blasting into laugh with that analogy of this great tribulation thing. That's a vintage Fisayo Dairo. Yeah, thank you for your time. We can only wish them all the best in that tough test that they have to suffer and then be greatly tribulated, if there's anything like that. The next match will be Sunday, right?
Yeah, Sunday, yeah.
All right. And we hope we have you on Monday to tell a good story and not to rant. All right, Fisayo Dairo, thank you for your time and your take. And of course, do have a lovely day ahead.
All right, you too. Thanks for having me.
We should go. Yeah.
Dear viewer, you've seen, you've heard, you've watched, and you've heard the analogies, you've heard the praise to our team and some of the, not too good, talks or takes around there. All right, it's a beautiful time we had this morning. It's been quite an insightful conversation, starting with the fracas between Wiki and the officers and all of the statements that are coming in, and then now to football. I think it's a good way to end the show for the week. All right, we hope you have a restful weekend, a very, very fun, a growth, yielding weekend. My name is Temitope Ajijolaoluwola. Thank you for joining us this week.
And of course, Femi Ojo is my name. It's a good feeling and a good place to end it. Thank you to the production team that has worked with us. And of course, Joseph Atewa will take it away from here, talking about the sports stories, the analysis on Sports Spring. How do they say? Viva and Vamos Super Eagles. We'll see you again next week, God willing. With your weekend, please be responsible and stay alive.